Yo, hello everybody. It's your boy Deadly Crypto up in this hog. We back up in this for another educational session. Now, you guys know me as Deadly Crypto. Today, we're not going to talk too much about crypto. We're actually going to talk about how to be financially free. Oops, finger's not there. There we go. How to be financially free. So, a lot of gurus and educational investors and buy my course motherfuckers will tell you to buy their course, follow this, do that, and you can start making money like them. So many people overlook the foundation, the financial foundation. In order to build a house, you have to start with the foundation. You don't start with the walls. You don't start with what kind of door you want to put in. You don't think about what kind of shingles you're going to put on your roof. You cannot build a house without a foundation. This is also true of investing, of being financially free. Everyone says this is the fast track to how to make a shitload of money. You know, like I said, follow these steps and you can make money. Even me in this YouTube channel, I've told you how to be a crypto trader. But I have not stressed how to get your financial foundation. So let me just go ahead and preface this by saying these steps that we're about to talk about today, I did not come up with. I'm simply following them myself and on my way to financial freedom. I would say I'm pretty free, pretty stable. Right now, you see, I'm a YouTube influencer with 2,000 followers or subscribers. I really don't get paid that much from YouTube. I'm living off my investments to a degree, but not the degree that I want. Anyway, I'm going to show you the steps that I've taken. I'm going to tell you where they're from. If you want to go read the book and get the full book, it's Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. So I'm not going to act like any of this information is my own. I'm simply going to put it in front of you for you to consume because I know many of you don't read. There is an audiobook. There is a PDF that you can read. I should have linked in the description below. But, you know, the book's $15 on Amazon. Can't be that fucking expensive. Like $12 maybe. I don't know. Not that expensive. And if you're a cheapskate, you can buy it for free. I'm just going to summarize it for you, express the main bullet points because Dave Ramsey does do a lot of dancing around in that book. The first few chapters are about debt myths, things like that. So we're just going to express the key bullet points. I'm also going to tell you how I think my path has differed from the actual steps, but we're still going to discuss the steps and we're going to fucking be financially free. All right, guys? So before I address everyone who's in the comments, we do have some fucking vitamin water today, and vitamin water has not sponsored me. This is not a sponsored endorsement. I just like drinking the shit, and hopefully, you know, maybe they will see this and say, you know what, Deadly Crypto is the truth, and vitamin water needs to be the hydration source for all financial investors. So it all starts somewhere, right? And vitamin water is the truth. So again, they didn't endorse this sponsorship. I'm thirsty, so I'm going to drink some vitamin water. If there's a vitamin water rep out there watching this one day, 10 days from now, let's go. Send me some vitamin water. It's sponsored. All right, guys. So let me see who we got in the comments here. We got Lucas sending some rocket ships. What's up, Lucas, brother? Got Boy Tamila says greetings. Spy also says what's up. And Abdul Samad says hello, sir. Hello, everyone. How you doing today? You're about to be a lot better after this. So, Jamie, if you don't mind taking us to the proper screen where we need to be. All right. Thanks, Jamie. So things are looking good. We got a cool new backdrop here. Shout out Crypto University. You know I'm a Crypto University partner. Never going to down talk about Crypto University. Always work hard to improve the course material there. So let's just get straight to it. First thing that we need to do, guys, is save $1,000 fast, really quickly. No bullshit. We're going to get through this stream. Most of my streams have been like, an hour plus. So it's going to be a little bit quicker. We're going to cover the foundation of things. You need to save $1,000 fast. And I don't mean save it in Bitcoin. I don't mean put it in your bank account. I mean get $1,000 cash money, right? This is going to be your startup emergency fund. You need to get this in cash, okay? You need to have $1,000 cash money. I never be flexing money on the channel or anything like that. I fucking hate cash. I hate fiat. If you know me, you know I'm a Bitcoiner. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in the mission statement. I believe in the peaceful revolution. But you have to have cash money. You need cash money in case the banks fail, in case you can't withdraw Bitcoin on time, If you need money now, it is in your possession, okay? You need cash money. You absolutely got to have some cash money, as much as I hate to say it, because most of the merchants and business owners, hospitals, doctors, lawyers don't fucking accept crypto, okay? I love crypto. This is Deadly Crypto, but you got to save $1,000 in your local currency, whatever it is. The Naira, I know we got a lot of Nigerian fan base here. The yen, don't know if we have any Japanese fan base at all. Whatever your local currency is, save $1,000 equivalent, and you got to get it fast as possible. As soon as you stop watching this video, go and get $1,000. If you don't get paid until next week and your paycheck's already going to be like, oh, I got bills, Deadly, I got rent. You know what? Hustle. Go mow some fucking grass. Go do what you got to do. Go on Facebook Marketplace and see who needs a shelf built. Go carry the groceries in for the old lady across the street. Maybe she'll give you $5 for it. Go do what you have to do to get $1,000 quickly, right now, okay? Because let me tell you why you need this. If there is an emergency, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about having a proper savings, but if there is an emergency, you need to be able to access the money very quickly. You don't need to be liquidating assets. If you're constantly liquidating your assets or selling them at the market price, for one, you might not sell them at a price higher than you bought for. Right now, we know crypto's in a bear market. If you bought Bitcoin at $60,000, $50,000, and you have to cash out $1,000 of it right now, you're going to sell significantly more Bitcoin than, or you're going to sell more Bitcoin at a lower price than what you paid for it. That's not good, okay? You can never know what state the market's going to be in. Generally, if you're a good investor, then you buy things when they're in a dip, 50%, 80% pullbacks based off Benjamin Graham's investment strategy, safe, sound investing. But you never know what the market's going to be like when you need your money. So you got to make sure that the money is accessible and in a moment's notice, okay? You got to have it on hand, all right? Everyone understand that. We need to save $1,000, and you need to go do it right now as soon as you're done watching this video. It's very important, okay? Step 1, save $1,000 fast. This is your starter emergency fund. You need to have it. Absolutely need to have it. Step 2, you need to attack debt. All right. So some of you guys may not have any debt. That's great. After you get through with step 1, you can jump straight into step 3. Don't even have to look at step 2. We're just gonna quickly talk about debt. You don't fucking need it. Okay. Debt is a trap. There are debtors, there are savers, and then there are investors. Okay. A debtor is someone who uses debt to pay for things. Imagine you don't have $1,000 cash. You have a credit card, or you go to your bank and get a loan because you need something, right? You don't have enough money for groceries this week. Your rent's coming up, and you got to pay the landlord, or else he's going to evict you. So you go out and get a little loan from the bank, or something happens. You swipe your credit card, you get debt. Now you have to pay that back, more than likely with interest. You're spending money you don't have, and giving away your future, your time, your energy. You're literally selling your energy in order to benefit in the now. And that's not good. Okay, that's not proper. That's not how you're going to get ahead. You're always going to be behind if you have debt. You can't invest properly if you have debt. Okay, if you are, now look, I want you to buy Bitcoin. I need you to buy Bitcoin. Okay, you need to buy Bitcoin. But if you have debt, you're never going to be able to invest the way that you should. You're never going to be able to grow your savings account. You're never going to be able to take life by the handlebars and ride that son of a gun, okay? Never. Not if you have debt. So if you have debt, second thing you need to do is get rid of debt. Okay, so why are we not attacking debt first? Because if there's an emergency, you're going to have to go, like I just said, and get debt to cover the emergency. So if there's an emergency, let's talk about this for a second. While you're attacking your debt and you have to spend out of your $1,000 cash that you saved, you're going back to step 1. If your car breaks down and you need to change, a ball bearing in your front left tire, and it costs $400 parts and labor, you're taking out of your $1,000 cash that you saved, and you are going to pay for that repair, and then you are back to step 1. So chill out on attacking the debt for a second, because you're back to step 1. You have a problem. You only have $600 in your savings account. Refund it to $1,000. Get back to attacking your debt. Okay? We're going to take a brief pause here and see if there's any questions or comments. Guys, ask questions at any point along the way, and I'll clear things up for you. So let's see what kind of questions and comments we got. Share with us that fiat. No, it's mine. Elvis says, greetings, Edward. What's up, Elvis? Anthony Lewis says, Deadly Crypto in the building, chugging hard on that vitamin water. You motherfucking right. Vitamin water is the truth. Let's get another drink right now. Matter of fact. Ooh, don't want cotton mouth while I'm talking to you guys. All right. I'm also looking at my chart up here. Got my trades going on. When Kobe says, greetings, I'm loving this. And Niaz says, I'm here. Niaz, he's here on time. What's up, bro? Shout out Niaz, one of my supporters. Appreciate you being here, guys. All of you, especially Niaz for being a supporter, a long-time supporter at that. Check out his badass little symbol he's got there. He's got the blue deadly symbol by his name, and his name's green. So thanks, everyone, for being here. We're going to move on to the next premise, or step 3. Okay, so we got step 1, saving $1,000. Step 2, we're going to attack debt. Once you have all your debt paid off, wherever your debt is, you might have multiple balances with multiple people. You know, don't consolidate your debt. That's a fucking scam. It's better just to pay. No, we're not going to talk about why it's a scam. Just don't do it. If you owe multiple people, multiple institutions money, pay them off one at a time. I would suggest you start with the biggest debt first. A lot of people are going to say that they want to attack the smallest debt first. Let's say you owe the bank $500 and you owe $3,000 on your car. You took a loan out on your car. You financed your car. I'm sorry for your mistakes. But you want to attack the bigger debt first. You don't want to knock out the bank and then be like, oh, okay, now I just have to. I mean, this is going to be up to you. This is what I recommend. You don't want to knock out the smaller one first because then it leaves you with a bigger concern, right? So if you knock out the bigger concern first, for one, it's going to be out of the way. And as you knock out the bigger concern, you say, we took out that $3,000 note. Oh boy, now I only have $100 debt left to pay off for my bank, or $300, whatever I said it was. You take out the bigger one first because as you work down the scale, you start to see the end drawing near, and it literally incites you and it motivates you to work harder. If you knock out $100 debt, that was no big deal, you know? I poop out $100 almost every day. So what happens is whenever you pay off a larger debt first, it gives you that feeling of I'm doing something progressive, I'm doing something so good. So now it's easier for us to be motivated to maintain this journey. And aside from that, let's talk about APR financing. Most of you are familiar with APR in staking. If you're, a crypto nerd like me, you're always looking at APR rates so you can get more out of your stake. But let's think about this. If we have the same 14% annual interest on $100 versus $3,000, okay, we're paying every year, we're going to owe 14% on that $100. But every year that we don't pay off our car note, our financing note, we owe more, okay? The dealership will tell you what the financing rate is, what your annual percentage rate is, what your credit card rate is. 14% is pretty standardized here in America. Don't know what it's like everywhere else. If you have $1,000 on your credit card debt and you also have a $100 bank loan, you want to pay off the $1,000 first, even if they have the same APR, because over a year, 14% on $1,000 is $140, versus 14% on $100 is $14. So leave the smaller debts active for a longer duration because you're going to be accruing less interest on them. Okay? That is basic math. If you don't understand it, I'm sorry. If you want to pay off your smaller debts first, if you think that'll keep you more motivated, go for it. But on the flip side of this, know that your bigger debts are incurring more fees. Okay? All right. So, step number 2, attack debt. Once you get your debt out of the way, now we need to save a real emergency fund. So you want to save 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. So you're going to calculate how much, and guys, I skip making a budget. If you don't have a budget, that's way before step 1, okay? If you don't have a budget, there's no way you're going to be able to track where your money's going in and out, okay? Now, I'm assuming you all have a budget. If you don't have a budget, go make your fucking budget. Before you even try to save $1,000, you need to have a budget. Now, once you know how much you're spending on rent, I know groceries are going to vary per month. I know there's a couple things that are going to vary per month, like gas, your phone bill, your electricity bill, all your bills combined. Everything that you think that you're going to be spending for a month, you need to multiply that Some people, to get to step 4 faster, to the later steps, they're just going to stop at 3 months, okay? I would say 6 months is really safe. But deadly, that's so hard. That's going to take so long to do. Listen, if you don't do this now, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? If your job goes under, if you walk into the office tomorrow and get fired, so many people are living paycheck to paycheck. They think, oh, I know people who make $5,000, $7,000 a month, and they think they're top shit. They think they're top G. They think they're Andrew Tate because they get paid $7,000 a month. What happens when you get fired? Okay, most of the people I know who make a lot of money have a lot of debt. They're driving a $90,000 car that they don't own, making $700 payments on it per month. They take out a fucking loan for a boat. Bro, you don't need a boat right now, okay? Maybe if you live in the islands, I can understand the need for a boat. But that's going to be a replacement for your car, right? So maybe, possibly, you might need a little skiff, 16-foot skiff. But you don't got to go finance a $32,000 fucking Mayak, okay? You don't need to do that. You don't need to be paying $1,200 on a boat every month. You don't need to be paying $1,000 on a truck, Jacob, every month. Okay? What happens when you lose your job? You're fucked. It's bottom line. You're screwed. You're up shit creek without a paddle. You need to save about 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. I would say 6 months. So do your little budget. See how much money you actually spend per month. Multiply it by 6. Multiply it by 3 if you're a little bit more of a risk taker. Multiply it by 6 if you want to be super duper safe. Multiply it by 12 if you want a year's worth of living expenses. That way you could be fired from your job, or you can even quit your job and know, like if you're working on your startup business, but you spend 8 to 10 hours a day at work and you want to get away from that job because you hate it so much, like most of us do, hate our jobs. I don't hate my job anymore, but when I had a real job, I hated it. So save 6 months worth of expenses and you can quit that job and really focus on building your business now, because you have 6 months before you have to start worrying about shit. Maybe on month 4, you see you only have 2 months left. If your business has not taken off yet, if the product you're selling has not exploded, then okay, maybe it's time to start looking for another job. Okay, but this is very crucial. Okay, just in case you lose your job or you want to step away from your job to focus on your personal business, this is an important step. We talked about having $1,000 cash. Step 1. I got the rest of my savings in my bank. I didn't want to be flexing all my money out here. I'm sorry, not my bank, my safe. I don't keep shit in the bank. I can log into my bank account right now and show you that I don't keep shit in the bank. So let me just do that real quick because I don't trust the bank. All of my money is right here. I have this $1,000 emergency fund, kept it outside. Now, my 3 to 6 months living expenses, they're in my safe because I don't want anyone to come in here and be able to rob me. I'll show you my bank account right now. It's the only bank account I have. Everything else I have is in Bitcoin and crypto. The majority of my holdings and investments are in Bitcoin and crypto. I don't have shit. So we're going to look at my checkings account right here. All right. So I'm loading up my checkings account on my bank. All right. So let me see if I can turn this sideways here. Don't want you to see my transactions. I got $90 in my bank account. Where is it? Is it going to load? Is it going to, can you, come on. $90.62. Okay. On my bank account. $90.62. That's it. That's all I have in there. Okay? I don't put money in the bank. I don't trust the bank. Put that shit in your safe. Cut out the drywall in your house. Put it in there. And, cover it back up. Make it a little bit hard to get to so that way you're not dipping into it. I wouldn't put my money in the bank. I don't trust the bank. I got a little bit laying in there just so I don't get overdraft fees or whatever the fuck happens. But I use my crypto card because I transfer everything into cryptocurrency. So this is my Visa debit card from crypto.com. Gonna make another video talking about crypto.com, how I used to love them, how I'm starting to hate them. That's for another day. But and I dropped it on my printer. The way I spend money is right now, I don't touch my cash. My cash is there for emergencies. The way I spend money is converting crypto assets onto that card, selling them to MCO Card Company. They fund the card with money, with fiat equivalent at the market rate when I sell out my crypto and I need to use it. Okay, there. Now we're done with step 3. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any comments or questions about what we have done so far. And Kobe says, I'm studied and no income. Where to start? Brother, if you don't have any income, I understand you say you studied. If that's an education, my guy, you got to get a job. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you got to get a job. You got to do odd jobs. You got to work for somebody else. You're not going to be able to print money out of thin air. You shouldn't be, if you have $100 to your name and that's it, if you have $10,000 to your name and that's it, should not be gambling with that money. Investing, trading is gambling. No one can see what's going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows what the next candlestick is going to do. Nobody knows if it's going to go up or down. It's all a fugazi, okay? It's a wazi. It's a woozy. Wolf of Wall Street reference there. You have to get a job. If you don't have money, you might have an education. You might have the knowledge. Try and apply that knowledge or sell it to somebody, right? If that's what you can do. If not, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go get a job. That's just the way it's going to be for a while, okay? Have to be a wagee before you can break free. Let's see what else we got. Anthony Lewis says, smack the like button. That's what I'm talking about. Smack the like button. G-Man Crypto in the house. Yo, G-Man Crypto. Talking about Dave Ramsey's steps to financial freedom. I'm just trying to put them in a way that people can easily understand. Ricky Spanish says, late but here. Better late than never, dog. Also, there's a rewind button so you can catch up what you missed out on after the show. Gonzalo says, what about good debt? There's no such thing as good debt. None. The wealthiest people in the world. Now, there's a lot of wealthy people who use debt. They're going to say, oh, you could go take an FHA loan and you could get a $4 billion apartment complex and then you could use the income from the renters to pay for it and, you know, blah, 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 blah. What happens when you can't find a renter? What happens when the market, what happens when the housing market crashes? There's so much risk in getting debt like that. I have argued with people on this subject so many times, and I'm not going to spend any more energy on it, okay? The wealthiest people on the planet do not use debt, period. That's all there is to it. There's no such thing as good debt. You've been lied to, okay? No such thing as good debt. Let me see what we have here. Johnny A says, hey, Edward, Johnny's one of our supporters as well, and G-Man, I'm sorry. Didn't mention that G-Man is one of our supporters, so shout out Johnny A and our fellow supporter G-Man for being here and making themselves known in the stream, commenting out. It's going good for me, Johnny. Thanks for asking, brother. I hope you're doing well yourself. And G-Man Crypto says, what color is your Bugatti? I don't fucking have one yet. When we talk about the bonus step here at the end, I'll tell you why I don't spend money on anything yet except investments, okay? When you are ultra mega rich, you can spend money on a Lamborghini or a Bugatti. I know so many people say, win Lambo, wear Lambo, wear Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti? That's an Andrew Tate saying, by the way. But Andrew Tate has made millions of dollars. He's very well off financially. I am not that well off financially, as most people are not. When your investments can provide for you completely, and you don't have debt, and you've done all the other steps that we're about to talk about, then you can buy a Lamborghini. Then you can buy a Bugatti. Because if you buy it beforehand, let's just say you make $1 million, you get lucky, you make $1 million, you're going to spend $280,000 on a Lamborghini. If you make $1 million, you can't even afford a Bugatti. But if you make $1 million, you spend $280,000 on a Lamborghini. The moment you drive it off the lot, it's only worth $160,000. It's not worth it. It's not an asset. Okay, it's a liability. You can't be spending money, having like woo-ha until you have enough money to blow. So let me catch up on the comments here, and then we'll get back to the presentation. Let me see where we at. Niaz says, I receive daily calls from banks to get cash on credit. Tell them to go themselves, okay? Tell them. Go shove it up their butts. Kudis says, where do I start? I'm in debt $300, working a job of 40. Where do I start? Kudis, really quickly, to help you in the right path, what you need to do is set up a plan. Like I said, it goes back to the budgeting. Before you can save 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, what you need to do is say, okay, how much does it cost me to live each month? And how much can I put towards that debt each month? And you need to ruthlessly attack that debt, brother. And in the come up, you might have to skip a meal or two, man. You might have to do a lot of things you don't want to do. But it's a good trade-off, because if you do those things you don't want to do early, you can live a life that you want to live. If you just keep living with this debt and prolong getting rid of it, you're just going to be in the hole for longer than you need to be and not really enjoying life, okay? A lot of anyone can do what I'm telling you to do, and these are very easy steps. Grind your ass off at your job. Put in the overtime. Go pick up another job. Go pick up a side job. There's I don't know what you have in your country, but there's this thing here called like ready labor, where you go into this building, contractors and shit, someone calls in, there's this contractor who's got a fence to build for a client. He's got a crew of 6 people building the fence. One of the people called in. They said, "Boss, I can't make it to work today." He goes to Ready Labor. He finds a pair of hands ready to work, and he takes them and he goes to build a fence for that day, and get paid for that day. There are so many ways to make money, my man. You have to figure it out. You have to go make that money, okay? And that's very simple. Thanks, man. You're welcome. I don't know what it's like in Nigeria, but I know that there are odd jobs available all over the place. Go ask a rich dude if you can shine his shoes. Go ask people in traffic if you can wipe their windshield for $5. It might not be what you want to do, but you got to do it, okay? We all do shit we don't want to do until we can do the things that we want to do. Moving forward now, we're going to talk about step 4. So, maximize your retirement investing. Now that you have, if you don't have a business to focus on, if you want to grow your business, now that you have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, you can start to invest a little bit more casually, right? Not too aggressive yet. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? Because if you trip and fall, you're going to break the basket. Everything's going to break. You're going to have to start all over. You want to start investing here. By maximize your retirement investing, it means just because you're here, you got 6 months worth of money saved up, don't mean you can quit your job and go buy a Bugatti, right? You're not there yet. You're not at that step. You need to maximize your investing. And I say retirement investing because nobody wants to work. We all just want to sip margaritas in Malibu or the Bahamas. Maybe you don't want to go to fucking Malibu. You want to sip margaritas in the Bahamas, okay? You need to start investing now. When you get to step 4, you can start investing. Now, I don't have anything against if you can budget properly and while you're attacking your debt, not while you're saving $1,000. When you haven't saved $1,000, if you have not got step 1, you have no business investing. While you're attacking debt, if you say, hey, you know what? I've done my budgeting and I'm going to put, I have $100 at the end of each month left to attack my debt. I'm going to spend $95 attacking debt and $5. That seems like a small, measly amount, right? I don't have a problem if you start investing at step 2. If it's very, 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 you see the space between my fingers? There isn't one. It's very, very, there's like atoms in here for sure. They're very, very small. I'm pressing my fingers close together. They're very, very small. This is how much you should be investing if you haven't got to step 4. Once you get to step 4, you need to invest like this, okay? You need to still be working on saving expenses, but now you can start focusing on investing. So whatever asset you've been interested in over the past few months, and it doesn't mean now I'm at step 4, Bitcoin's at its all-time high, let's fucking start dumping it in. No. We need to pay attention to the assets, review my channel so you can see how to do technical analysis, start waiting for pullbacks to start investing. Just because you've got to step 4 now, I know we're really excited. Matter of fact, if you got to step 4, congrats, bro. Let's fist bump right there. Congratulations. Most people never make it to step 4. 90% of Americans, if you have $20 in your pocket and no debt in America, you're in the top 10% of wealthy individuals. 90% of Americans never make it to step 4. I don't know what the statistics are like globally, but that's what it's like in my country. 90% of people in my country never make it to step 4. So if you got this far, congratulations. Now you're going to start working on your investment portfolio. So this next step is going to be a little bit controversial, and it's not going to be applicable to everyone. College funding. Me personally, I didn't go to college. I'm making a bunch of money. I'm surviving without having going to college. I'm not going to say I'm making a bunch of money. I'm not top G. I'm not Andrew Tate. All right? But if I follow these steps, I will get there. Now, college funding. This, like I said, if you don't have kids, don't really got to worry about this one too much. If you plan on having kids, it's not a bad idea to start putting money away for college funding. Just because I didn't go to college doesn't mean I don't want to give my kids don't want to force my kids not to go to college, right? Okay, I want them to be able to choose where, if they want to go to college, and if they do want to go to college, I want to make sure I have the money to get them through college. I don't want to wake up one day, my kid's 18 years old, and we have no college money, okay? If you didn't have parents who did this for you, I'm sorry. My parents didn't do this for me. Do I love them any less? No, I love them with all my heart. My father's already passed away now. I would spend a shitload of money to get 5 more minutes to talk to him. I love him. He did the best he could for me. My parents always did everything they could for me. They tried their hardest. But I'm going to try and do things a little bit different. I recommend, if you plan on having kids, you start a college funding account, okay? At some point, if you want to have kids, those kids are going to turn into adults, and you want to give them the option of having whatever education they want. I'm going to teach my kids about Bitcoin. You're damn right. I'm going to teach them how to be financially disciplined. But I would love for my kids to be business owners by the time they're 18. But I don't want to decide their future for them. I want them to have the chance, and I know you probably do too. Okay? Some of you might have kids right now, 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 1-year-olds, 2-month-olds. You got to get them a college fund. Okay? This is controversial. Like I said, this is a touchy subject. Maybe you don't give a fuck. That's on you. If you're not going to do any college funding for your kids, then you can focus heavier on investing. This is going to be up to you. Not every concept out of Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover is applicable to everyone. This is one of those concepts. If you never plan on having kids, skip this step. Okay? That's all we're going to say about college funding. Now, let me check and see what our comments are here, where we are. If there's any questions yet, guys, remember, if you have any questions at any point along the way, go ahead and ask. That's why you're here during the live stream, to get your questions answered if you have them. I have made an update video about the content we're going to be publishing. We're going to get back to posting every single Monday. We're going to have a new video for you guys, a new piece of educational or entertainment content. If you haven't seen my last video about me asking strangers for Bitcoin money, it's a piece of entertainment featured around cryptocurrency. So we are going to get back to publishing regular content every single Monday. But the purpose of these live streams is for you. I could have made this a video and just posted it, and you could have left your comments there in the questions in the comments there on the video. But this live interaction that we have here is beneficial to you. So if you have any questions, ask them now, and I can answer them for you. Let's see what we got. Let me see. L Cool J says, God speaking through you today, straight preaching. You know, someone's got to do it, man. No one wants to address things like this all the time. Somebody's got to do it. I know there are a lot of people out there that do it. I'm not saying I'm the best. I would prefer you get information from multiple sources. I'm just doing my best to help you out and all my people, man. So thanks for being one of my people. And thanks for listening. So many times I talk and it falls upon deaf ears. I'm glad you're here today, and I'm glad you're listening. Let me see. Anthony Lewis says, Andrew Tate is the GOAT. You know, I'm not a huge fan of him, but I can't deny his success. Dude is a financial genius, for sure. He's made a bunch of money, way more than me. Maybe whenever but Andrew Tate, if you see this, I'll fight you. I know you always talking shit trying to fight people. Probably don't want to fight a little scrub like me. Andrew Tate's like 6'3", don't know what he weighs. 4-time kickboxing champion. I know that much about him. I'm 5'6", 150 pounds, soaking wet. Right here. But guess what, Andrew Tate? I'll beat your ass. If you want to fight, let's do it. You probably don't want to fight me, though. I know. But if you want, that's the only thing I could probably do over Top G. But anyway, yeah, he's got more money than me, so I can't talk shit about him, really. He's pretty cool. I wouldn't say he's the GOAT. You know, maybe Tom Brady is the GOAT. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, Andrew Tate, he's all right. He's an all right dude. G-Man says, put 100 in a good crypto project. By the time they go to college, they sorted financially. You know, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. You don't have to save. Going back to, we're still on college funding. Touching on college funding again, you know, you don't have to just save to prepare your child for college, because that money, if you're just saving in cash, that shit is going to devalue. If you save $100,000 in cash for their tuition, it's not going to buy them $100,000 worth of education in the future. So yes, G-Man makes a good point. If you are doing college funding, it doesn't have, if you want to save it in fiat, save it in fiat. If you want to save it in paper money, do that. G-Man makes a good point. You can start them in investing account and even say, hey, you know, son, you're 18 years old. I'd like for you to go to college, but if you can prove that, you know, you have the financial smart to take this money and start a business with it, that investment account, you're right, $100 today. If you don't have a kid at all, $100 today, 18 years from now, invested in Bitcoin or another successful crypto project. We don't know what's going to be successful. That's the risk in investing. That's why some people may prefer to hold it in cash. But if you're going to be putting that money in Bitcoin for them, you're a fucking winner. You're absolutely a winner. Bitcoin has compounded 170% annually, year after year after year after year. Okay, it has downswings. There are negative years, but annually, if you take the average, it's 170% year after year. So 12 years from now, if your kids, you know, if you have a 6-year-old, 12 years from now, that Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot more than it is today. and that's going to be able to get them through college. If they don't go to college, they're going to have a good financial start in life. So excellent point, G-Man. Thanks for putting that out, for pointing that out there. And he's one of our supporters, obviously. That's why he's so intelligent. Kudis says the thing is to get that right project. Yeah, he's talking to G-Man there. That's right. But, whatever, there is altcoins that's going to 1000x. You're right. But Bitcoin is a pretty safe way of transferring, storing value, and even multiplying value over space and time. So can't go wrong with Bitcoin. Everyone's looking for the next 1000x, the next 10,000x. Dog. Bitcoin's going to do 600% in a few years, 5 years. I promise you, it'll do another 600%. Just chill out. You don't have to bum rush to the finish line. Slow and steady wins this race. This is a slow and steady race. It was invented for financial security. If you're running a race, you need to be fucking fast. This is a different type of race, okay? Slow and steady wins this one. Anthony Lewis says, exactly, G-Man. G-Man says, Jamo, if you can't find one, then put all your extras into BTC. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm reading these one at a time here and addressing them as I go. But it looks like you guys are having a good convo there anyway. Niaz says, everyone should get a second job for saving account. Not a bad idea. Most people don't want to work a second job, It's tough, man. When you get off work, you want to go home, play video games. You want to go home and have doinkities with your girlfriend. You want to go home and eat. I understand, man. When I was 16 years old, in school, in fucking high school, I was going to high school. I worked at Domino's Pizza and I worked at Sonic. I was slanging them drinks. I was slanging them pizzas. I had 2 jobs. I was the assistant manager at Domino's, bro. Actually, I started at McDonald's when I was 16, moved on to Domino's. But anyway, when I was in high school, I had 2 jobs. I got an early start. I always wanted to be financially free. I was always a little hustler. There's nothing wrong with getting a second job. No one's going to look down on you. If they look down on you, they're probably spending their money out at the clubs every Saturday, grinding up on strangers, buying fucking ugly girls drinks and taking out 4s. But why? Save that money for your wife. Save that money for your kids. You don't have a wife, you don't have kids. Great. Focus on yourself. Hustle it up, dude. Go hustle. If someone looks down on you for grinding, for working 2 jobs, get them out of your circle, okay? If someone's trying to get you to go out every weekend, spend your money at the club, find a different friend. Rich people are not going to shit on you for having 2 jobs. They're going to be like, this dude right here is grinding. I'm going to give this dude an opportunity. I can see this dude's grind. So, good take, Nias. All right, so I'm going to try and get to these a little bit quickly now because they're kind of pouring in here, and then we'll move on to step 6. Let me see. Anthony says, great financial advice. Yes, a lot of people say, oh, this isn't financial advice. And then they just straight up dispense financial advice. This is financial advice. You take it, you're going to go somewhere in life. Kuja says, yeah, G-Man crypto. G-Man says, I'll fight him 100%. G-Man, I would fight him. I think I could smash him with my jiu-jitsu. G-Man's a much bigger person. I would like to see that fight. That'd be a good fight. But, Tate's too busy calling out Jake Paul and fucking Logan Paul. And he's probably not going to want to fight us, bro, because we're chumps. There ain't no money in the fight. But let me see. Boyd Miller says, question to G-Man. Okay, I'll leave that to G-Man. Johnny says, I started buying. G-Man's a good dude. You can listen to him too. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. Johnny says, started buying ETH for my daughter. Better than giving her euros. Damn right, because the euro done crashed. G-Man answered that question. Anthony says, GBP is dead. That's right. All right, cool. All caught up on comments. If you have any questions, drop them in. We're going to get going now. Let me take another drink of this vitamin water. 0 sugar sunshine, strawberry plus lemonade, and then we'll move on. We're almost done. All right. Let me see here. Where are we at? Okay. Moving on. Step number 6. Pay off home mortgage. Now, remember, I said some of these are controversial. I don't have a home mortgage. I was smart enough to know that was a fucking scam from the get-go. I used to live in a bumper pool trailer. I really want to get back to that because I want to travel the states and see what my country is like. I want to see the beauty in life. I don't want to be stuck in a home. Now, eventually, when I have kids, when my girlfriend is done with college, when I've seen the world, I don't want to pick a spot to habitate for the next 40 to 50 years. I haven't even seen the world. I don't know where I want to live. Austin's pretty cool. I live in Austin, Texas right now. Like I said, I used to have a trailer. It was an old trailer. The repairs were getting too costly. I used to pull it around with a truck. I did live in a couple different trailer parks for a while. I did see some cool things. The truck was a piece of shit also. I was constantly working on it. Got rid of those pieces of shit. Got a little car, got a little dirt bike now. Good on gas. Live in an apartment. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? If you have so many people were sold a scam and they put, $40,000 down on a $180,000 house and they have a home mortgage or a loan for a house. If that's you, this might not even apply to you, okay? Like me, this doesn't apply to me. I live in an apartment. Whenever my girl is done with college here, I've been looking for the market. Right now, I've been looking the markets for a nice truck, a nice used truck. Don't want to buy a new truck because, like I said, as soon as you drive it off the lot, any new vehicle, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's gonna lose value. Not what you paid for it. And if you are intending to finance a vehicle, don't. I'm looking for a nice used truck that I could afford cash right now. And then as soon as my girl gets out of college, we're gonna start looking for a trailer, another trailer, so I can live on the road again. Okay. Now you might not want to live in a trailer. You might have too many kids for that. It's okay. This part's up to you. But if you got stuck in that home mortgage trap, if you did get a home mortgage, this is for you. You need to pay that shit off. Okay. Or if you if you want to, give it back to the bank, whatever, that's on you. If you want to keep living there, if you want to keep living in a house and you have a home mortgage, focus on paying that off now. Okay. You started your kids' college funds and you're figuring out how to be a little bit more responsible because remember, in the early days, with your income, you had to pay off that, your debt. You had to pay this and that, and you had to save up 6 months worth of income. Now you've done all that. The money coming in from your job or from your investments too, any money that comes in from your investments, you need to put it right back into your investments. Any money that's coming in from your job, now you can really focus on paying off your home mortgage, right? Because you have a lot more outside of, groceries, fuel, and things like that, and, the regular expenses. You can focus more on paying off your home mortgage. Now, this doesn't apply to everyone. If you have a home mortgage, this is what you need to focus on now. This is going to be step 6. Pretty easy. You have a lot more free income. It's not free income, but it's more expendable now. Don't start getting crazy. Don't start taking vacations. Don't finance a new vehicle to impress your neighbors across the street. Pay off your house. Own that bitch. All right, next. Let me see. We're going to do step 7. We're almost done, okay? Almost done. This is where you get to build wealth like crazy. If you own your home, if you own your truck and your trailer, like I want to own my truck and my trailer, yeah, there's going to be some repairs, but, this time around, I'm going to look for a new trailer, newer. Going to find a good used trailer that hasn't been lived in yet, someone who's used it, somebody who was richer than me and who used it for recreational use, kept up with it, whatever. Now that you own the home you live in, whatever your roof is, if you own your roof, the thing that keeps the rain off your head at night and keeps your children safe and sound during the storm, if you own that roof and those walls around you, now you need to build wealth like crazy. If you've been working a second job this whole time, work harder. Invest harder. Now we're going to put everything that we can into investment. And you might feel a little bit safer now. Like, hey, I can eat out a little bit more, reward yourself. I'm not saying live like a dog anymore. Living like a dog is for the early steps of this program, okay? Don't have to live like a dog anymore. Treat yourself, but invest as hard as you can. Invest, okay? You need to invest. You need to invest now. Now is the time to be investing very, very hard and in assets that are going to appreciate in value. I'm not a big fan of real estate. I know my boy Grant Cardone, Uncle G, shout out Uncle G, taught me a lot about money. He's really hard into real estate. He's got, I think, like over $1 billion in real estate. So I'm not going to say what he's doing is wrong. He's got a lot of cash flow and he makes a lot more money than I do. But personally, I don't think real estate is the best way to transfer value over space and time. There's a lot of upkeep on properties. There's a lot of hassle in finding tenants. If you want to do real estate, I'm not going to knock you. I'm not going to stop you. There's a lot of ways to make money. I would suggest you look for a sound investment that can transfer your money over space and time safely while also making you money. A good example of something like this is staking. You don't want to have all your investments into a stake pool because something can happen. Network can get shut down. The exchange could rip you off. There could be a security breach in the exchange. A lot of things can go wrong. You need to diversify. Holding Bitcoin in a ledger wallet is a good investment. Staking Bitcoin on an exchange is a good investment. The Bitcoin's going to appreciate in value and you're earning more of the Bitcoin. You can stake anything you want. You can stake Ethereum. You can stake, I'm staking crypto.com token, CRO, and Theta token. So you can stake whatever you believe in. You need to be careful because there's more risk here now because we're actually investing. But let me tell you something just so we're all clear. Holding fiat is the riskiest thing you can do. Actually, it's not risky because you know it's going to devalue. Since the beginning of time, all fiat currencies have gone to zero. When the empires are erased and the country falls, the paper money they printed collapses. Since the US dollar has been invented, since it's started, yes, it was invented. It's not fucking God-given. Since the US dollar's inception, it is devalued 99%. So it's not even risky holding fiat. It's just downright stupid. It's going to devalue. $20 10 years from now, it's not going to be $20. It's going to have the face value. It's still going to have President Jackson on it. It's still going to say $20 in the corner, but the purchasing power of it is going to decline. That's called inflation, okay? You don't want to store your value in the dollar. You want to invest it somewhere where it's going to multiply and gain purchasing power or reward you in more of that asset, right? So holding $20 is not a good idea. Investing $20, I mean, I know you're not going to buy a property for $20, but just for the sake of argument, investing into a property, sure, property is going to rise in value. You know, there's going to be upkeep on it, like I said, but it provides you cash flow. It's multiplying your dollar. That's a good investment. Holding the dollar, not a good investment. Holding any fiat currency, not a good idea. All right. So before we get to step 8 and our bonus, because I want to talk about a really fine point to know that you are safe and secure, because people get to this step and they're like, oh, you know, where am I safe? When is enough enough? We'll talk about that in just a second. Let me go through your comments real quick, see if we're just joshing around in the comments or if we actually got some questions up there for me, okay? Any questions? We're getting to the end of this presentation here, so if you got questions you've been sleeping on, not even paying attention to what I'm saying because you want to ask your question, ask it, and we'll see what's going on. Okay, cool. Nothing. Boy Tamelo says, I should have had a pen and a notebook. Boy Tamelo, this is going to be posted on the channel, brother. You're going to be able to watch it anytime you need to, and you'll be able to skip around from all this dialogue in between. So it's yours, brother, and it's yours for whenever you need it. Anthony Luar said, and again, I'm summarizing Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. Highly recommend that book. I read it a long time ago. I recently read it again earlier this year just to get a touch up on it. It laid the financial foundation for me to get to where I am today. Although I am, right now I'm trying to build wealth like crazy. All of the things that I have said, I've done myself. Right now, I'm building wealth like crazy. This is where I'm at in my journey, and it helped me a lot understand things. Of course, there's way more knowledge out there. I'm just trying to give this to you in a way that's easy to consume, okay? That's all I'm trying to do to you here. I didn't come up with these principles. They're not mine. Just trying to help you out and convey them to you. Still, highly recommend the book. And Anthony Lewis says, move to Thailand or Bali. Food and cost of living is cheap. I've heard that. I've studied everywhere where it's cheap to live. Not everywhere, but I've studied a lot of different places in the cost of living. And, ultimately, before I leave my country of origin, I'm honestly struggling thinking about, I don't want to just abandon this place. I really have been entertaining the idea of running for president. It's going to be a lot of fucking work. I can't even run for president for 10 years from now. But I do want to see the world. My original train of thinking before that seed was planted into my head was I need to travel the States first and see everything here in the country of USA. And once I see all the things I want to see here, I'll go and explore other parts of the world and see what there is to offer there. I don't want to jump on a plane to Bali in Thailand, live there for 3 years, and then come back. My mom still lives here in the States too. I told you, my dad's passed away. I can't leave my mom by herself. I can never be that far away from my mom. God forbid something happens. I don't want her to die, but I feel like I'll stay here probably as long as she lives because she's one of the last pieces of family, like blood family that I have here that I care so dearly about. So I'll probably live in the States as long as she lives. And I'm not wishing anything ill on her. I hope she lives for another 40 years. I would love to get that much time with my mom. But I'm probably not going to move out of the States until I can see the States for what all it has to offer. And yeah, it says, if USA put crypto on blacklist, then what will happen? and I'll go to fucking jail. I've already had this conversation. It's already been decided. I was just talking to someone yesterday, maybe the other day, about my taxes and how I don't pay taxes on Bitcoin and crypto. Don't tell the IRS. Nah, the IRS already knows because they sent me 9 final warnings. But you know what? If it was a real final warning, they would have only sent me 1, and then would have kicked the door down. But if they kick my door down without a warrant, I'm not gonna go down easy. All right. I'm a Bitcoiner. I'll always be a Bitcoiner no matter who tells me what. The reason governments ban Bitcoin is because they want to keep the control. They want to keep control of the economy. They don't want to lose the invisible chains that are imposed upon us. And through the fiat currencies that they print, BRICS, talking about building a new currency, creating a new global reserve currency to dethrone the dollar, and it's going to be based or backed by precious metals like gold and silver. Okay, here's a question to ask. Why don't we just use gold and silver again? Why? Oh, because for one, the government's fucking stole it all from their people. Every single government that's ever existed has had a moment in time where they started to seize or do buybacks on gold. Some people did buybacks. Some people just straight up seized it. You can't get it no more. But the reason they don't want to use gold is because why? They can't print it. Sure, you can mine it, but that costs work. You have to go find the gold to make new gold. You don't make new gold. It's out there and you got to find it. That's one reason, it's a finite supply, but it's not that finite because gold supply is always increasing. We're always mining gold, always finding new gold. There may come a point in time where we mine it all up. Who knows? I can't foresee the future. Probably not going to be in mine in your lifetime. That's one of the key features of Bitcoin that makes it more scarce than gold, is that there's only ever going to be 21 million. But, BRICS doesn't want to use Bitcoin. They don't want to say, in order to dethrone the dollar, we're just going to use Bitcoin. Why? Because they cannot control the Bitcoin network. They can't control where you spend your Bitcoin on. They can't deflate or inflate it. They can't decrease the purchasing power of Bitcoin. They do that shit all the time. They print new money to devalue it. Every government devalues their currency. So, yeah, if USA put crypto on a blacklist, fuck them. I'm still going to use it. Anthony Lewis says, main takeaway is get rid of debt first before investing. You're right. That's a main takeaway. Absolutely. Cool. Can't leave mommy. I feel you, bro. Yeah, the steps, just go back, take a screenshot of every single step. We've got a lot of talk and digress in between each step. But yeah, main steps, save money fast, attack debt, start investing. And Anthony Lewis says, cool, can't leave. Oh, yeah, there we go. BTC is digital gold. You're right, Johnny. BTC is digital gold. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get into the next step and our bonus so we can all get to work and start saving money if we don't have that $1,000 savings yet. And if we do have it, find the step where you need to be on. Let's go. Step number 8, live like nobody else. This is where you start looking for that Bugatti. You start Bugatti shopping. Once you have surpassed your means of living and investing, you can start living like nobody else. Now you can, go look for that boat. You can take some time away from work. You could probably fucking quit your job at some point. I'll tell you in the bonus when you can quit your job. But, here we're getting ready to quit our job. We're starting to take some more vacations, and we're starting to treat our wives out more frequently. Never stop treating your wife, fellas. You always have to keep her happy. You don't have to keep her happy, but, the more, and I'm not saying you have to find, someone who's frugal, but you can't just live in a basement with your wife. That's what I'm saying. If you are solo, if you're independent right now, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have any kids, now is the time to grind, okay? Because you don't want to have to make your wife suffer. You want to be able to give her everything she wants. If you really love her, you want her to have everything, okay? I love my girlfriend. I'm going to make her my wife. I want to give her the whole world. And it's really hard if we're still coming up. So right now, when we're living like no one else, thank your fucking wife for sticking with. If you've had a wife this whole time, a girlfriend, thank her for sticking with you through all this and start treating her the way she deserves to be treated like a fucking queen, okay? Now, we can live like no one else. You need to put your wife first, even before yourself, because she's been with you all this time. If you're solo and you made it here solo, treat yourself. If you made it here with a wife or a partner, you need to treat your partner and tell her how much you thank her, because there are so many shitty women out there. There's shitty men too. I'm not trying to down talk on women. There's bad humans in general. And there are so many men and women who cheat on their partners, who never encourage or inspire their partners to be better people. So if your wife made it this far with you, take care of her. Go get a boat for yourself. Get a big old recliner so you can fall asleep in front of the TV. Put a TV in the bathroom. Buy a Bugatti, whatever helps you, whatever makes you happy. Okay, so this is an easy step. Don't need to tell you how to live like no one else. This is going to be up to you. However you want to live now, live however you want to live. Now, our bonus. So, at what point can we quit our job and just live off our investments? When your investments make more than your job on a monthly basis, or you can live off 8% of your investments monthly yield, right? So if you're in the stock market, I don't recommend anyone get stocks, but if your dividends cover that, if you are staking and per month you're making more than what it costs to live off of, let's say that whatever it costs to live, your investment yield per month has to exceed by what it costs to live by 92%. So a measly 8% of your investment, really, really small amount, whatever you get per month from your investments, if you can live off 8% of that, you're considered safe, right? You can quit your job whenever, if your job pays you, I don't know what your job's going to pay you, but if your job, let's just say your job pays you $5,000 per month and you've been making $5,000 per month all this time through all of these steps, maybe you got a raise or two, maybe you're making $7,000 a month now, whatever you make right now per month, if your investments exceed that, or if you can live off 8% of your monthly yield, then you're considered safe. But there's always going to be room to grow. If you want to be top G, if you want to be Andrew Tate, and you want to buy a Bugatti, then you're going to have to keep grinding a little bit more. But again, this is up to you. Living like no one else. At this point, you're done with the steps. You're living like no one else, okay? Quit your job whenever you want to after your investments yield more than your job, or because you're never going to get fired from your investments. Your investments can't fire you. They won't. Your job can fire you at any moment, okay? Texas is an at-will state. They don't even have to give you a reason. They don't have to give you a 2 weeks notice, right? You go in there smelling like fucking... like you didn't take a shower for, you missed a shower, you forgot to brush your teeth. You were in a hurry that morning, you didn't brush your teeth. Your boss says, man, this dude's breath stinks. Fired. I'm firing this dude. Don't even have to have a reason to fire in this state. Don't know what it's like in other places, but here it's an at-will state. You can quit at will, you can get fired at will. So you don't want that, right? Once your investments are providing for you, then you can quit your job, okay? And then you can start saving up for a Bugatti. Remember, you're considered safe at this point, but there's more you can earn. The sky is the limit. This is going to be up to you, what kind of grinder you are, how much you want to pursue. So we'll do a final Q&A here, see what kind of comments we got. I'll take another swig of vitamin water because I hope they see that we are doing good for the world. I know they sponsor athletes and everything like that. I am an athlete too, but we're not going to talk about that today. I want them to get into the financial world. This is a great step for you guys. We can target a new demographic, vitamin water. Let's take a drink of vitamin water and answer your final questions. Finished it off. Let's see what y'all got for me. Anthony says, facts. I will buy BTC if I ever have children. G-Man says, inflation is rising. Stocks are laundering in a no-profit zone. And when stocks rise, they also issue more of it, right? Stock goes up 10, 15, 100%. They're going to issue more stocks. Drive it down. Adding supply. Fucking stupid. Investors are unclear when the Federal Reserve will hike interest rates. It is sensible to consider investing in crypto. He's got the little emoji there. Love it, G-Man. Wise words from a wise man. G-Man is absolutely spilling the truth. Niaz says, thanks for a nice presentation. You're welcome, Niaz. I put a little bit more thought into this one. I mean, usually I don't know. I feel like this one was a little bit more thought out. So thank you for thanking me for the presentation. I definitely worked a little bit harder on it than I have been in the past. And I will continue to try and improve on my presentation skills and deliver content to you in a way that's easy to digest and understand. I'm always going to try my best to be better tomorrow than I was today. So thank you, Niaz, for being a supporter, for keeping up with this journey, and for showing your appreciation. Ricky Spanish says, my job in their handbook tell you to shower, brush your teeth, etc. Exactly. I mean, dental hygiene, it's important. If you don't, as a functioning member of society, as a functioning human, you should try to take care of your hygiene. But, if your boss is just having a bad day, he could fire you because his dog died. He could fire you because his wife left him. Doesn't have to have a reason to fire you, dude. You could be the best employee on the planet. Literally, I have seen people get fired for the stupidest reasons. I mean, obviously, if you're not working, if you're failing drug tests, things like that, then yeah, you're probably going to get fired. But even if you're an outstanding citizen, never gotten a traffic ticket, never been in problems with the law, your boss could fire you for any reason. Doesn't have to have a reason. He might make one up if he's in one of those states that have to provide a reason. But still, your boss can fire you for any reason. So you need to become your own boss. You need to focus on your investments. You need to follow these steps and be financially free. This is what financial freedom is. I don't know what you guys were expecting today, but that's financial freedom, where you don't have to, your future, your life does not hang on by a thread and is not in the palm of somebody else's hand. Someone else makes a decision out there, it does not affect you. That's what being financially free is. Pretty close to that myself. Like I said, I'm still working the steps. I'm not on step 8. I wish that I could just blow money how I want, because then I'd be driving around a Bugatti. But pretty close. And I highly recommend everyone get on these steps, because they're very simple to follow, and the result is repeatable time and time again. This isn't some science experiment. We don't have hypothesis here. It's not an if-then statement. This is a linear progression on how to reach true financial freedom. That's what financial freedom is. The ability to do what you want, when you want, and not have to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow because somebody else is going to make a decision, okay? That's not it. Financial freedom is being able to be who you are, wherever you want to be who you are. That's what financial freedom is. Pi also says he enjoyed this video. Johnny says, sweet presentation. Cheers, buddy. Tie-Dye says, what color is your Bugatti? I don't know if I ever want to buy Bugatti, but if I did, it's probably going to be purple. I want a Rolls Royce. I actually do want a Rolls Royce with the top down. That way I could drive around without a shirt and, just catch the air on my body driving around Rolls Royce. I can envision it now. Law of attraction is powerful, so... like I said, there's a lot of things we could have talked about today. Covered the main points. If no one else has any other questions or comments, we can go ahead and sign off here. I will give you guys, I'm going to start a 30-second timer. If you have any questions or comments, you got 30 seconds to put them out there. And we'll stay on for longer than 30 seconds if you have a question. If you have a comment, you're more than welcome to drop it whenever you want. I got 30 seconds on the clock, guys. If you have a question, let's ask it right now. Any questions? I'll be accepting questions for the next 21 seconds. Any question that ends up in the chat, we'll answer it. We'll stay on air to answer your questions if you have them. Okay? So, we got 12 seconds left. Any questions from anyone? Any questions from anyone? I know there's there's a small lag on this too, on the stream. I know that. So, we'll be a little bit lenient on there, because by the time my timer goes off, and you're not going to be, oh, there it is. So, a couple more seconds for the lag, because I know you guys are going to be seeing this just a few seconds after I say it. All right. So, let's see. All right, we got a couple questions here. All right, so Quudis, last question right there at Quudis, and we'll answer him. Which crypto are you in the most, says Tie-Dye? Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Bitcoin, in a short and simple summary, is a monetary system that cannot be fucked with. There's a lot of different cryptos out there that offer a bunch of different things, solve a bunch of different problems. There's a lot of them out there, and I'm invested into a couple different cryptos. I got some Ethereum. I'm phasing out of that shit. At the end of this year, I'm mining right now, so I could talk about. I started mining the beginning of this year. I'm gonna stop mining on December 31st, and so I can make a video about that and talk about how much I made off of my little miner. Give you a bunch of statistics about how you can make money with mining, and I'm done with Ethereum. I'm gonna look to phase out of that. I've been phasing my Litecoin into Bitcoin for some time because I like Litecoin because it's fast and efficient. I'm not gonna get rid of all my Litecoin. It's basically copy and paste of Bitcoin. It's a little bit faster, but Charlie Sheen kind of fucked his own project whenever he sold the top in 2017. People don't even backstudy, but phasing out of Litecoin, I'm gonna keep a little bit of Litecoin, like I said, to handle transactions on the fly because it's really fast between exchanges, things like that. So my biggest investments, Bitcoin. My other primary investments are Ethereum, Litecoin, Chainlink, and Theta for different reasons. You can find whatever crypto works for you. Biggest investment, we're gonna preach Bitcoin all day, every day. Bitcoin is set to change humanity. There's no other crypto that's gonna do this. I don't care if they say it's better, more faster, more efficient. They're not gonna do it. The best hope we have for changing humanity and getting closer to a utopian society without picking up arms against our government is Bitcoin. That's my biggest holding. Let me see. Anthony Lewis says, how would invest $1,000 in crypto? Anthony Lewis, the safe way, if I had $1,000 right now to throw on crypto, it'd be Bitcoin, because I know in the next top of the bull cycle, I can convert some back to this crappy fiat that doesn't really matter and doesn't really exist. Because, like I said, I'm trying to convince the merchants I do business with to accept Bitcoin. Until we get to that point, I'm gonna need fucking fiat. So, unfortunate as it is, I'm gonna need it for now. But I try to keep as little of it as possible. Always try to keep my money in Bitcoin. If I found $1,000 in the street, I would put it into Bitcoin immediately. This is kind of a situational question. If you don't have that much money, you might want to invest in something that has a higher potential to, 10x, 1000x. But then again, I've already deleted the fiat mindset. I don't care if a crypto 10,000x's or 1,000x's against the US dollar, against whatever local currency you might be using in your country. I don't care about that. So I would rather try and get as much Bitcoin as possible, because I see the value in Bitcoin. I know it's digitally scarce, and I want more of it. So that's the way I would answer your question. Good sir. Let me go ahead and take this bonus off the screen now, and we'll just talk here with me up on the screen. And Kudis says, can I invest with my situation? Kudis. Oh, I also see there. I didn't see your comments there. He says, I missed 6 and 7. Can you update me? Brother, you should be able to rewind this. If you can't rewind it now, it's going to be posted to the channel. As soon as we're done with the live stream, you can rewatch it. So you can find whatever steps you missed. And hopefully YouTube will pick out the spots. If not, I can go in there and edit the timestamps where we talk about it. I'll do that. I'll go back after this video is published, and I'll edit the description to put the timestamps in there for what steps we're talking about. So you'll be able to check that out. Sorry I missed that. But Kudis, well, let me see. Where was your question again? Can I invest with my situation? Kudis, I don't know exactly what your situation is, but you should not start investing too heavily for quite some time. You need to knock out the other steps. So I explicitly talk about when to start investing. You can start investing pretty early, but not until at least step 1. Okay, you got to do step 1 first. Then you can put small, very, 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 very small, because I don't want to miss Bitcoin. I don't want you to miss Bitcoin at these prices either. Very, 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 very small amount of your money. When you're attacking debt, you can start investing, but it's got to be like less than 3% of the money you have to spare. Everything that you have to spare should go to attacking debt and fulfilling the other steps until you get to where you can actually build wealth, okay? That is a step in its own. And Boytamela says, nice. Let me see. Dai says, one more question, bro. Thoughts on cloud mining? People are making money through cloud mining. It's in essence, cloud mining. Now, the way I'm thinking of cloud mining, there's probably a bunch of different types, but the way I'm seeing cloud mining is where there is a miner facility and they have a bunch of Bitcoin miners, for example, and they rent them out to people. So if you buy it or if you rent it or whatever, you own a piece of the mine, because if you have just one Bitcoin miner, there's no guarantee you're going to mine the block that gets put into the blockchain. So it's not a terrible idea, but me personally, if I couldn't own the hardware, I'd never do it. Cloud mining, whatever type of cloud mining you're looking at, you have to understand if it's a legit cloud mining company. You have to really, really research it. But me personally, I would never participate in that. If I wanted to get balls deep in mining, I would try to pool mine some other asset. So, yeah, and I'd want to own the hardware. I'd want it to be under my supervision. That's just me. Mining interests me. It's not that cool. After I get done mining, I'm gonna go heavy on staking. Staking does not require equipment. I have a cell phone. Probably always gonna have a cell phone. That's all it takes. A cell phone and connection to the internet. My computer here, it's using the graphics card to mine, and it's probably going to shorten the lifespan of my graphics card. Probably already has, because I ran this motherfucker almost 24 hours a day for the past however many months. It's been 10 months. So, the average lifespan of a graphics card that doesn't mine is about 5 to 10 years. Whenever you are mining, it takes about, depending upon what the value of the asset is you're mining, could take anywhere between 3 to 5 years to even make a return on investment. And then after that, you'll start to see profits. So it's not all that cool. Moitabella says, same here. Isaac Simbempa says, do you think it's a good idea to hold ETH as your biggest investment in your portfolio since BTC is a bit expensive for someone like me? No, I don't think it's a good idea to hold ETH as your biggest investment in your portfolio. Not saying it's a bad investment, but it doesn't really matter. I know you say right here, since BTC is a bit expensive for someone like me. For one, brother, it's only going to ever get more expensive. But for two, if you're talking about a gain against US dollar, it doesn't matter how much of it you can buy. Like maybe you can buy one Ethereum right now because it's way cheaper than Bitcoin, but you have to think about how much will Ethereum appreciate in the future? How much is it going to be used? There's lots of competitive chains out there doing the exact same thing as Ethereum for a lot less and way more efficiently. There's so many layer 2 solutions built on top of Ethereum that you can choose from to invest in. So you have to think about how much is the price of Ethereum going to appreciate versus your local currency, because I'm sure that's what you're thinking. You're probably still in a fiat mindset, and that's okay. It's going to take some time to get out of that. But, man, I'd say it goes balls deep on Bitcoin. If you want some Ethereum, put some in your pocket. I'm not going to knock it. But primary investment, my primary investment is and always will be Bitcoin. I'm not going to tell you what yours should be, but I don't think it's a good idea for ETH to be your biggest investment. G-Man Crypto says 1,000, buy 100 BTC every week, irrespective of the price, and DCA, you can't go wrong. That's good. That's good advice, because by the time you spend up that $1,000, it doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. When you're done, we know 4 years from now, we know at the top of the next bull cycle, it's going to have risen in value against your local currency, your fiat currency, and you'll be able to capitalize on that. So, very good advice. Just because you DCA'd and it's going down doesn't mean you have to sell at a loss. Wait. If it's a spot investment, wait. We're not talking about futures trading here. Futures trading, you need a stop loss. You need to be very careful with that. But spot investments, accumulating Bitcoin, can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. Anyone who tells you can go wrong doing that has obviously never looked at a Bitcoin chart and doesn't understand financial markets, period. Bitcoin is the best performing asset ever to exist, ever. Look at any chart. Look at comparing it to the S&P, which is the standardized evaluation for portfolio growth and asset growth and value retention. In the best scenarios, it gains 14% annually. More so averages around 7 to 11%. Bitcoin does average about 170% annually. So anyone who says otherwise is fucking trying to sell you some shit you don't need or stupid. Johnny says, any thoughts on helium mining? I don't know what helium is, brother. But as far as mining goes, you know, like I said earlier, now with my experience that I have in mining now, I didn't buy, I didn't drop 32 million in a badass mining setup, because if you have a lot of money to spend on miners, then you can confirm more transactions and make more money mining. But in my general experience, I would much rather stake, because it requires way less hardware and essentially no upkeep, actually. So, once these graphics cards go out, if you get an ASIC miner, they're going to come out with a newer, better one in 10 years. In 10 years, you're going to have to replace your ASIC miner. If you have a GPU miner, you're going to have to replace your GPU at some point. You don't have to do that with staking. I think staking is a much better alternative to mining. I know the Bitcoin network runs on mining. Shout out to the Bitcoin miners out there keeping us alive. Me personally, if I'm trying to make more money through investing, I will look at trading or staking from now on after I get done with this miner. I'm never going to go back to mining after this. I mean, maybe, like I said, if I ever do get to step 8, maybe I'll buy some ASIC miners in the future, because it can be highly profitable, but you're not going to get a lot of returns off of a couple miners, a couple GPUs. If you're mining from your cell phone, anyone who says there are a bunch of coins out there that say you can mine from your cell phone, brother, you're not going to be able to mine shit off your cell phone. There is no computing power in this. I mean, there's some. Phones are powerful. They come a long way. Doesn't compare to a GPU. Definitely doesn't compare to an ASIC miner. Staking all day. Anthony Lewis says, G-Man and Deadly, nice. And Kudu says, thanks, man. Well, all right, fellas. If we don't have any more questions, we can go ahead and wrap it up for today. Non-financial advice. One more for Nias, because he's one of our supporters. So we'll take this question, and then we'll bid our salutations. Nias says, not financial advice, but what are the best staking platforms in your opinion? Well, man, I've spent a lot of time on crypto.com. I mean, exchanges are really easy staking platforms to get into. If you can get directly into a node and participate by staking on a node, whether it be Cardano, because I know a guy here who runs a staking node in Austin, Texas, for Cardano. and you don't have to fuck with the exchanges or anything like that. You just deposit directly to the node. So depends on where it's running. Exchanges are generally not a bad idea. If you can participate directly in a node, whatever the asset is, then that's probably the best way to do it. If you cannot participate directly in a node, some of them, not all of them, but I know some of them require like minimums. But like for example, I think Tezos, to own your own role, you gotta stake like 8,000 of them. It's called a role, and then you can own the node and participate directly in the network, things like that. But you know, if you want to stake, there's no problem in getting on an exchange. Just when you stake on an exchange, make sure it's not the majority, it's not all of your money, okay? Because whatever you put on an exchange can be taken away from you. If it's not in your crypto wallet, if it's not in your hardware wallet, your ledger, your Trezor, if it's not in a hardware wallet, in a cold wallet, disconnected from the internet, it can be taken from you. So just be mindful of that. While you're investing, you can invest in Bitcoin and put it on your ledger, whatever you want to stake. If it's allowed to be stored on your ledger, you can do that. But just make sure that you're keeping, like, for example, maybe 10%. 20% is like a lot. But 10% is probably fairly safe, because if you get deprived of your 10%, you know you have 90% in your cold wallet or whatever. So just keep in mind, even if you stake directly on the node could fall apart. Network could disappear tomorrow. So when you're staking something, make sure it's not all of your money. That's pretty important to stress. Crypto on and on says, hi, Daily Crypto. I'm very eager to join CU. I just with you in Twitter. Well, thanks for being with me in Twitter. If you're eager to join CU, we can definitely get that worked out for you, brother. And I'm sorry you kind of came to the end of the stream there, but don't worry. Crypto on and on. You can be able to rewind this as soon as it gets uploaded here. I'm going to go put those timestamps in for the steps for you guys, and we'll be able to watch the playback. So thanks everyone who came out today. Really appreciate everyone's eyes and ears. It means the world to me that you're here listening to me. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate it. We're so close to 2,500 subscribers, and then we can have an awesome giveaway. I'm going to be giving away a tablet, couple subscriptions to 3 commas, and $100 in Litecoin, because I'm trying to get rid of it. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, because I'd really appreciate it. I hate to ask you for subs. I don't normally do it. I'm just saying, if you enjoy the content, go ahead and subscribe. If you don't, tell me to fuck off and get lost. I'll do it. But thanks to all my supporters, my subscribers, and to anyone who lent 3 seconds of their day to me today. Even if you're not here for the conclusion, I appreciated your 3 seconds. Thank you all, and oh no, that's Markiplier. My intro is my outro is be deadly. Thanks everyone for coming today. Be deadly until next time. Toodaloos, bros.